hello there, ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls. Please do not attempt to adjust your screen. You've only got two friendly, harmless pianists here. This is
Dr. Marc.
I'm Elmer, and we are Marc and Elmer's PSI Piano Scene Investigation. Yes. And we are the ones that you come to see what we've been reading, what we've been playing on the piano, what we've been listening to, and what, whatever we've been doing, I guess. So, please, if you like our show, you like us, you like our company, you like our topics, please do not hesitate to go below the video to comment, like, and subscribe. And please visit us on Facebook. Anyways, I know I have it here somewhere. You know my MO. Okay. Well, even the folks at home know what our MO is. Okay. So.
Oh.
What?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
All right. Our MO, you know it. Take care of your pianos, ladies and gentlemen. Cordy piano polish for the high gloss piano. Lemon oil, non-finish. The antiques, still looking good. Okay. So, anyways, earlier I sent you a comment from what I found on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to get right into it, buddy.
We're going to get right into it.
Today,
well, actually, wait a minute. Before we get into that,
Uh-huh.
I want to give you an update on the latest piano competition. The Hastings International Piano Competition that takes in England. Oh. Yes, or at least south of England.
Oh.
Let's see. This year, a 22-year-old Canadian by the name of Ryan Zhu, Z-H-U. He's 22 years old, won the competition. I don't know a whole lot of information on the actual competition, but apparently I guess his winning performance of the Prokofiev No. 2 with the orchestra was...
Wowzer.
Yeah, I know.
That's a big one. I saw Lauren Hollander play that.
Lauren Hollander?
It was Springfield Symphony years ago.
Yeah.
That was a monster one, huh?
Yeah, well, it is a very big monster, particularly that cadenza on the first movement.
Yeah.
So, but do you know this? I just recently found out about this work. Do you know the story behind it?
The concerto?
Yeah, the concerto. So apparently, Sergei Prokofiev, at the time when he was, well, the inspiration was he has this good friend of his. I don't know his first name, but his last name is Schmidhoff. And apparently they were very, very good friends. They practically grew up together. And one day, Prokofiev received a note from his best friend, and it read, "By the time you were reading this, I will already be dead."
Oh.
So he committed suicide, and apparently, when you have a good friend, a very close friend that you've known of, and you receive a note like that, it's going to have some, you're going to feel it. And apparently Prokofiev, if you've never heard this concerto,
it's a monster.
It is a monster.
It's one of those pieces that when they refer specifically often to Prokofiev, not all his music, but it's the one composer and whose music is sometimes referred to as grotesque.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monstrous. And it's G minor, isn't it?
It is in G minor.
It's kind of scary.
It is a scary piece. Now that I know what the story behind and the historical accounts about it, it even has more
but that
of a dark side to it. Yeah. You're more familiar with it. So, but anyways, that is a story I got, and it was from an interview with Alexei Sultanov, who's he passed away at least a decade ago. So, anyways, the interview with Alexei Sultanov, he told the story to the interviewer, and apparently he has performed the work, at least a good number of times. So, but anyways, in the Hastings International, we have Ryan Zhu, 22-year-old, first place. Roman Fidierko, or Fidior, whatever how you pronounce
Sounds
it.
Ukrainian.
Yeah. He's second place. Adria Ye, Y-E, third place. Ji Wong Yang, fourth place. Pin Hong Lin, fifth place. And those are the results of the competition. I know nothing about these people. I did listen to a few excerpts, and I thought, well, I thought I had the winner. I picked Roman Fidierko. So, but he took second. So, all right. Well,
so Hastings, where is Hastings? Is that up above Detroit or something?
no, Hastings is a well, okay, it's a seaside town south of England.
Oh, it's in England. That's right. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So it's.
I was thinking of Canada for some reason.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. So.
Is the winner Canadian though? You said. Is that how I got confused?
Yeah, the winner, the first place winner, Ryan
yeah.
Zhu.
No, Hastings,
Yeah.
They actually have like Hastings on this and Hastings on that.
Yeah.
Names of little towns or villages around that area. Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah, wonderful competition. I can't wait to hear the rest of it.
What was the age range for these people?
The age range, anywhere from, I don't know. I mean, it's, let's just say that.
It's not like a teen competition.
No, not a teen competition, but I would imagine they had probably at least an 18 or a 19-year-old there, but most of them looked older.
What's the cutoff date most of the time for competitions?
For most competitions,
cutoff age.
The cutoff age anywhere from 30 to 33.
Really?
Yeah, I'm told that Van Cliburn is 32, 33 years cutoff. That's the final year you could compete. Same thing with the Tchaikovsky, I think. Some of them are 30 years old. When you turn 30, that's your final year to compete. Yeah. And that's it. However,
I do like some of those amateur. Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's okay. Ivo Pogorelic has a competition. I'm not quite sure where it is, but there is no age limit in that one.
Good for him.
So he thought.
Good for him. I was going to say that I do like to read about. I don't think you often get a chance to hear them.
Yeah.
But I've seen them in the news. In some in New York and different places, but they're amateur competitions.
Yes.
These people are not going to go out and have big
careers.
Big careers, you know. Couldn't think of her name. Here's Yun Chen Long, right?
Yun Chen Lim?
Yun Chen Lim. And she's Yu Jia Wang.
Yu Jia Wang.
But no, I remember reading it one where there's like a guy who was like 54, 56, something like that. And he'd won it. And it was for amateurs, and they get a little prize and stuff like that. But it's just basically to recognize, practicing was worth it. You know, keep it up, and
Well, sadly to hear, Van Cliburn had an amateur competition as well. They had sanctioned a amateur competition.
Oh, years ago, right?
Yeah, years ago.
I remember that.
But they no longer have it.
Oh.
So sadly, but there were some interesting players there. They had one guy had composed a fantasy on the themes from West Side Story to play on the thing. There was another competitor, a blind woman, who played the Bergamos Suite by Debussy. And I guess some of the judges, found her performance quite compelling. Particularly Claire de Lune, since she's never seen what moonlight actually looks like.
Wow.
So
good for her.
That's what they thought. But okay, moving on. Earlier, I had sent Dr. Marc.
I also have one I want to talk about, another subject.
Okay,
it's another thing. I sent it to you.
Yeah.
It's about Carl
Kleiber. Yeah.
Go ahead.
But anyways, I found this on social media. It was from a piano teacher. And I quote, and this is virtually the virtual quote. The piano teacher said, "The one subject I do not teach is to read music. However, if I teach students how to write music, then they will know how to read notes." Am I justified? That's what they asked. Am I justified?
What do you think?
What do I think? Actually, I think it depends on what the student and the parents say. As long as they, I mean, this person says they teach piano lessons. They teach people to play the piano. It depends on what the student and the parents are after. If they say that I don't teach how to read the notes to the student and to the parents on day one, and they're okay with it, as long as he knows how to play the piano, it's fine. But on the other hand, if someday the student's going to want to learn to play the classics, then the story is that he'll definitely find it much harder to learn to read notes later on. But my problem with it is that once you have a student learn how to play the piano without reading notes, they get into a certain habit, and their conditioned way of thinking and learning is hampered once they have to learn the notes. And I've had students like this, and they learn to read notes to a certain point, but in the end, I find that all they manage to do is learn how to choreograph where their hands and fingers go. Without any clue about the basic foundations as far as rhythm, note values, and things like that. That's just what I think.
So I had a pretty strong reaction to it.
I did too.
Because this person sounds to me, if they're a professor at the Mozarteum in Salzburg or Leschetitsky, I do not take children, students,
Yeah.
Only the fine artists, I work with the artists. It wasn't always true. He took Schnabel, but Schnabel was a genius. But when I was young,
Okay.
and I was a pretty precocious, smart little kid, I think.
He's still young.
I remember when I was a little young. Kind of like Eager, but even younger than that. Not quite so little, though. Watch it, Uncle Monkey.
Jeez.
My mom used to read to me at night, and with one of the books,
Yeah.
and she'd trace the words with her fingers, as she was reading. And I think that's how I learned how to identify the letters and the words and how to pronounce things.
Yeah.
I don't remember how old I was, but I know it was a year or two before I went to kindergarten. I could read.
Wow.
I'm not saying Einstein and theoretical physics, but I could read a book, a kid's book and stuff. I remember when in elementary school, especially then, because I always kind of hated public school because I always felt like I was being held back, because of the focus on the average person in the class or the needs sometimes of the kids that weren't really up to snuff. And there was a few kids, the ones that sit in the back kind of thing. Sorry, but some of them had trouble reading. I mean, well into like third grade and stuff like that. I remember the teacher working with them. She'd have a little group in the back and they'd read, and you could hear them practicing, stuff like that. And the first thing you got to do is be able to identify your letters and the pronunciation,
Consonants, vowels.
and then the impossible thing with English is that you learn the basic pronunciation of the letters and the vowels, but English seldom follows the rules. Because I forget a glutinous language or something like that.
Yeah.
My ex-wife was a neurolinguist and a language specialist, and English is a vegetable soup for everything that's been dubbed into it in terms of sources of other languages, But I mean, how can you teach them to write if they don't even know what the symbols are or what they mean or how you use them? Now, Professor Wynn was really helpful to me in high school. I was starting to play well-tempered clavier stuff, and I was, facing these 3 and 4 voice fugues, and like, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
Because up to then, I'm approaching it more like later music, where it's vertical understanding and harmony and this and that. No, these are pure lines, and you want to bring them out and all that stuff.
Yep.
So Professor Wynn said, why don't you transcribe these for string trio or string quartet? And write them out. And I did some of them like that. It took a long time.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was really amazing because I had to discern which one belonged to which instrument.
Yeah.
And then what voice
Which
was
voice?
a continuation of what...
Yeah.
You know, the entrances are obvious.
Yeah.
But once they get going, you got to pay more attention to the line and everything. And well, let's put it this way. Your new editions are probably good about stems up and down.
No,
and things
exactly.
Like that. So,
yeah.
you know, you follow it. That was really helpful. But by that point, I was already playing on a Polari stuff
Yep.
and things like that. And so, I knew music, right? I do not remember when I was little how I got started. I know that we used John Thompson stuff at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then I studied with Mrs. Greenewald, who'd been a teaching assistant of my dad's teacher, Ralph Circle. And she was old school, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a little scary only because it was very disciplined and a little strict, but she was never violent or, you know, real hard. But she was tough, and she was definitely in the business. She had a huge studio. And I learned a lot of stuff from her, but I think that's malarkey.
Well,
You know,
you're being too kind.
you got it. I mean, you're talking about
know,
fundamental symbols, and like I've got a few beginners. I've been working with them, and I actually love working at that level now.
Yeah.
The truth is, in the past, I seldom worked with younger folks.
Yeah.
I was like that person. I teach, you know, more advanced students and work with things like that. Good for you, because then you can deal with interpretation and maybe solving some certain kinds of advanced technical problems, but you don't have to deal with building the foundation. That takes special kind of maybe training, approach, experience.
Yeah.
Now I think I'm really good at it. And I'm using the Faber books really a lot.
The Faber books?
To teach them.
The Benches and Piano.
But with the primary level, especially when I get going, I kind of go through it fast depending on the kid.
Yeah.
You know, because some of it's like, blah, 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 you know. But it works well in that they cumulatively build on every little thing that they've just introduced.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the student's consciously aware of it, but I can see it right there. And the things that are written in the next piece of music, you know, the next chapter, are building on everything that they've learned thus far and developing more. It's very well constructed.
Yeah.
This seems to me like someone is absenting themselves from foundational knowledge and instruction, and I think that's... Look, not everybody's maybe cut out for it.
Yeah.
I don't think that person is. But there are plenty of people that are. And, you know, it's like... I was going to say it's like teaching somebody to walk. It's like teaching somebody a new language.
Yeah.
You know, and music is, I think, it is a language.
Yeah.
And I think it's completely accessible. And the nice thing about it, it's international. It's more complicated because you don't really speak it, but you learn how to speak it through your body and through your mind and through your heart in ways to convey things. Because it's well, except, you know, where songs are set to music. Music is a nonverbal form of communication, you know. But it accesses things so deeply. And that's the hard thing to get to, is to get them to a point where they can begin to truly attach experience and emotion and see it and feel it in the music and be able to share those, like to convey it.
Yeah.
I would say the compliments that I got through most of my career, still do.
Yeah.
You know, and I was a big, powerful storm. You know?
Yeah, I remember that.
There's a lot of bravura and stuff like that. But everybody always said that they felt so much in the music.
Yeah.
And as it became more, I don't know, better.
Yeah.
You know, just better in my graduate level and stuff like that. In Madison, when I played, people would say, well, or like, especially when I played the ballad in B minor, I would often tell the story to people just before I do it, the front list. And then I play it, and people come up and say, I can hear all the parts of the story, you know? And then someone comes and says, I think I know where he died. You know? And I try to play the piece in that sense, you know, from in my mind, an internal programmatic kind of layout of all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a cop-out. Okay, we're doing that thumbs thing like Siskel and Ebert. This is the first time we've ever done this.
Yes.
But we also didn't identify the person. So.
Yeah, we did not. Well, I didn't know the name.
Yeah.
So I just made it. So if you're out there, we don't agree.
Yeah.
So
we agree with each other.
Yeah, we agree with each other.
That's a bullshit
yeah.
statement.
So if you have anything if you have anything else to, to discuss, go ahead and comment below or get on our Facebook page. Let us know. We'll be happy to debate with you. So, All right. So this next segment will go fast.
Okay.
Okay. So we haven't done this in a while. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to PSIs at the movies.
Oh, wow. I haven't done it at the movies.
Yeah, we have not done this in a while.
Okay.
Are we on? Oh boy, I still smell popcorn.
Uh-oh.
Wow. Yeah.
Is this movie got like ladies in it and stuff?
Oh, good grief. Here we go again.
What are you going to say?
Are you good? Dimitri, will you please have a talk with him?
He's a hedgehog. I don't know.
Have a talk with him anyways.
They're highly sexed. I don't know. Some animals.
Oh, good grief. Oh. I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. All right. All right, folks.
They're part of our comic relief.
Yes. PSI at the movies.
Yeah.
And we haven't done this in a while, so I thought I'd pull out one of my, one of the movies I keep coming back to. Now, so some of you who know me about me and movies, sometimes, I don't watch a movie for enlightenment or, sometimes it's just enjoyable just to watch, just to be entertained and just laugh at it. Okay. And this is sort of one of those kind of movies. So here today, I brought to you on VHS. I don't know if it's available on DVD or not. Perhaps it is. The 1960 film, The Hands of Orlac. Or Orlac?
Oh.
Ever seen it?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
That actor looks familiar.
Yes, it's Mel Ferrer. And his co-star is Christopher Lee, among others.
Oh. I think I did see this.
You did see this? Oh,
yeah.
Here you can look at it.
He
Okay.
gets these hands put on him, right?
Yes, it's from a
world famous. We watched this probably a year ago or so. It was on. It was on YouTube.
On YouTube,
yeah. I think there's a old. I don't know if they're still around, but there was a series that came out of California. These weird people called Creature Features.
Yes,
and they had this kind of. I think he was an ex-rocker, or he had promoted rock music.
Yep, I know who you're talking about.
Servant,
yeah,
and the silent blonde girl.
Yep,
and they played this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Here, I'll show it to you, folks.
Yeah,
it's a crazy-looking box. See, very 1960-ish. Okay, so the director is Edmund T. Greville, Greville. He is also a co-writer, along with John V. Baines and Donald Taylor. This movie is based on the original novel La Main d'Orlac by Maurice Bénard.
Oh, it's a French show.
Yes. Published in France back in 1920.
Ooh.
After the publishing of the book, a silent film adaptation came out in 1924 called, The Hands of Orlac.
La Main d'Orlac.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Later on, 1935, a Hollywood movie came out called Mad Love. And and that one's actually the best of the three. Mad Love, if you ever get a chance to see it. It's actually more intense, I think. And, well, you can't really beat Peter Lorre.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the main actors. And
he's a weird guy.
And I'm told that it was his first English-speaking role.
Wow.
Mad Love. So, he's the famous actor from the European hit M.
Yeah.
So remember that one, M?
Well, he played early in his career.
So,
it was a true story
yeah.
about a mass murderer in Germany.
Yeah.
That's and they arrested the guy and put him through court and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he was a nutcase.
Yep.
But he was also really violent and did some nasty stuff.
Yep.
Freaky stuff. I mean, Nazi kind of stuff. Not like American serial killer, just kill him.
Yep.
He did worse than that. And Peter Lorre recreated the character.
Yep, he did.
As a relatively young man in the film in Germany. And I don't know if he was happy about it or not. Of course, he wasn't like, obviously, a Cary Grant kind of looking guy.
No, he wasn't.
But I think that kind of set him for a future as that kind of an actor.
Yeah.
Doing horror films.
Yes.
Creepy stuff and things like
Yeah.
that. Of course, he had that way of talking.
Yes.
Which was...
Exactly. I know, it's creepy.
Singular,
it's creepy.
right?
Especially in German.
Yeah.
Especially in German.
Yeah.
And I'm told from that movie and that crime story that Germany was the first country in the world to institute the insanity plea for murder cases.
Yeah.
And so eventually, other countries followed.
The unfortunate thing, in a way, maybe there's an inevitability.
Yeah.
Germany was one of the leading luminous lights in humanity in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. And then everything got co-opted by the Nazis. But some of the most illustrious medical research, scientific, mathematical, also one might say humanities-oriented kind of thing, they were just so accomplished and forward-thinking and in a number of things that they were doing. And some of it was controversial.
Yeah.
But I think it all came down to the way Germany was punished after the First World War, really hard, money-wise. And Germany was in a god-awful state after that, economically. And the National Socialists were the ones that talked about nationalism and building up of Germany, and they had everything to be proud of. I mean, they pointed to all the great composers, the scientists, everybody. We shouldn't have to be like this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, people believed them. But they were desperate.
Yeah.
But this is interesting that, see, Germany came through with the first law for insanity defense.
Yeah. So anyways, Hands of Orlock, silent film, 1924, Mad Love, Hollywood movie, 1935, and even later than that, they came up with another movie called Hands of a Stranger.
Oh, I think I've heard that.
Yeah, that one is about a young pianist, and and the funny thing about these stories, in each one, I think the silent film pretty much follows the novel, but in the Hands of Orlock, the actual villain is a magician, played by Christopher Lee. Mad Love is different, where the doctor plays the villain, played by Peter Lorre.
But the premise is that the hands belong to a killer,
an executed criminal.
Yeah, but they're apparently really nice piano hands.
Yeah, well,
presumably, because the guy that lost his hands in the accident is a pianist.
Yeah.
You're going to tell him this stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyways, in let's see, Hands of a Stranger, the villain was the pianist. So that one's in it. So each time they change the story just a little bit. Okay, the cast. Mel Ferrer in this movie plays Stephen Orlock. Christopher Lee plays Nero. In French, Néron. He's the magician. These other actors, I don't know. Well, here. Danny Correll plays Li Lang. I guess it's an Asian character. Lucille Saint-Simon plays Louise Orlac, apparently the wife, and a very young Donald Pleasance is in this movie.
Ooh, he was
Played
tense.
by, oh yeah,
Donald
plays
Pleasance.
Graham Coates. I don't know if he's an investigator or something in the movie. Now to the more important part, the music department.
Ooh.
The music department. So the credits give the music credits to the composer Claude Bolling.
No way.
Yeah, Claude
That wrote
Bolling.
the French
Yeah,
stuff for
the one that
Ron
wrote the
Paul?
jazz suites.
Yeah, for Ron Paul.
Yeah, jazz suites. Now,
Claude Bolling.
if you watch this movie, particularly in the United States, American, British release, they don't give the name of the pianist that plays at the sequence in the beginning.
Oh.
It opens with a sequence from Franz Liszt's Hungarian Fantasy.
Oh wow.
So I say, they play a good hunk of it too, a
Really?
really good hunk of it, all the way to the the final finish at the end. So it's a good. But however, upon reading some of the comments on YouTube,
Oh.
there was a stranger. I guess he's from France. He says the French release cites Werner Haas as the
Werner
pianist
Haas?
at the beginning.
Oh really?
Yeah, the German classical pianist.
Wow.
So Werner Haas is, I don't know if he ever kept performing the Hungarian Fantasy, but most of the time I see him
Good for
doing
him.
French Impressionism, W.C. Ravel, and
I
others,
like East
Satie.
King and stuff
So,
like that.
yeah. So, but anyways, that is pretty much the movie.
Wow.
Now, remember at the beginning of the segment, I said I usually sometimes watch movies just for the mere entertainment of it, just to laugh a little bit. Some of the acting in this is a little bit over the top. It is a little bit over the top. Particularly, Christopher Lee, you have to smile at him, okay? Because he plays the villain in this movie, but it's sort of a tongue-in-cheek performance. He'll look at the camera and sort of wink at it a little bit. And so he's rather mischievous, criminal type. Okay, so he'll sit there and he'll stand there and laugh at the misery of others. And almost you could almost feel like he's like sort of jabbing you with his elbow. Encouraging you to laugh at the misery of others. But anyways, Christopher Lee, I still have respect for him as an actor. Even in the film, he actually made the movie much better than it really is. He really did. So kudos.
Elmer, is it really scary?
It can get intense at times. I mean, see the cover?
Oh, that looks scary.
This can be scary. I mean, look at the look on his face. I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit. Particularly the hands and bandages. So
I don't think I'm gonna watch that Elmer.
may not be a good idea. So, anyways, I said this segment was going to go fast. This should conclude PSI at the movies. So,
Well, I want to open up a little subject, can we?
yeah, sure,
All right,
absolutely.
And then I got some things to share for
Okay.
today. Did you got stuff?
I have a few stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it can wait.
So I sent an article, and I can put a connection to it on the screen for you so you guys can read it. It's from Slip Disc. And you said Norman LeBrec's been rehired.
Norman
Let him
LeBrec's
come
been
back?
rehired at BBC.
All right, he's going back.
Yeah.
But I think Slip Disc is his own thing. That's
It
not
is his
true.
own thing.
So he
Yeah.
kept doing that. But it's actually, it has a connection. Is this click here? You can get the whole rest of the really amazing article. But it has to do with the recent news, which has really hit the fan a bit, about Boston
Yes.
letting go of
Dennis.
no, Dennis. No, I can't think of his name. He's Lithuanian or Latvian, right?
Yeah.
Damn it! I had his name just before, and now I can't remember.
Is it Klaus?
No, is it Jansen's, right?
No, it's not Jansen's. Do you want to look it
You
up?
know,
real quick?
I'll put it up
All
on
right.
screen. We know what we're talking about. The younger guy with the beard and everything has
Yeah.
done a lot of work with Boston for some time, and you know, sometimes people had said, maybe that wasn't so fabulous, but he's also still not an old guy.
Yeah.
But apparently the musicians have tremendous respect for him. Really have enjoyed working with him. He's a real collaborator with the orchestra, but yet they follow him. I mean,
Yeah.
and some of his recordings, I know that he did a Shostakovich series,
Mm-hmm.
and some of it people said, wow, it was extraordinary. And of course, the Boston Symphony, am I right about this? I think is our oldest symphony orchestra in the United States.
Yes, it could.
And it's always had a, elite kind of reputation. For example, Hans von Bülow and Tchaikovsky came and performed, at least the American premiere. I don't know if it was the world premiere, but of Tchaikovsky's B-flat minor concerto in Boston, and Tchaikovsky was conducting.
Yes.
Hans von Bülow at the piano. Can you imagine?
I know.
Oh, to be in the theater that night.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And then, of course, in the 20th century, Serge Koussevitzky was an interesting guy. Koussevitzky was a bass player from Russia,
Yep.
but a very handsome fellow apparently, and came under the protection of a very wealthy lady in Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and they may well have been
Yeah.
friendly, so to speak.
Yeah.
But she supported him, and he, interestingly, I don't know, some people think he maybe wasn't a super fabulous conductor and everything like certain ones, but he had an aura and a
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
thing which really inspired people, and sometimes sometimes that's what it takes to be a really great conductor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a friend. He was a doctor and a Freudian psychoanalyst on the faculty at Madison, Dr. Kepix. He was the husband of the woman that I played for some of her students. She'd been a singer at the Lyric Opera in Chicago and stuff. Joan Kepix. That was her married name. But Dr. Kepix is the one that got me started in conducting. He was an amateur cellist and played in a doctor's string quartet in Madison.
Huh.
And they had this amazing house. And sometimes he'd come home from work and I was there playing for singers, or sometimes I even coached them and worked with them after Mrs. Kepix was done. And she said, why don't you stay here and work with Marc and stuff like that. But apparently he would come in, I wasn't too aware of this, because the house was really spacious and stuff, but open. Apparently he'd sit in the living room part and listen to me. So they invited me to a luncheon, a pretty highfalutin thing, at the university. I was graduated by then for some time, but I don't even remember what the luncheon was about. But what I remember is the conversation. Dr. Kepix pulled me aside during a break and something going on, and he said, I'd like to speak with you if you wouldn't mind. And I thought, oh boy, what'd I do? Because, he's a man of authority,
Yeah.
And he said, I've been listening to you, and I hear you play, and I've gone to the concerts you've done. It's very complimentary about all that. But he said, have you ever thought about conducting? And I said, we had to study it in school, how to do this and that and all that. I said, but not so much. And he said, I think you should give it a thought, because I think you have the ideal qualities to be a conductor. And I was thinking, like music authority or musical knowledge and stuff like that. No. You're very persuasive. This is a Freudian psychoanalyst saying this.
Yeah.
You're very persuasive. He said, you have very good musical ideas and instincts and stuff, I think, but you have an ability to communicate in a way that you persuade the people to do what you suggest.
Yeah.
And he said, a great conductor is someone who can stand up there in front of 100 people and convince them that your idea is the right one for the moment and for them to do it. And you have that in spades. He said that. I'm not saying that about myself so much, but he said that. And from then on, it was interesting, because then suddenly opportunities began to open up where I could do some stuff. And
Yeah.
I've been very active as a conductor as well in more recent years, you know. So I almost got his name, but I can't think of it. Anyway, there was some news that came out a while back that the board at the Boston Symphony was letting him go after another year, I think.
Yeah.
He's done in 26 or 27, and he's gone.
Yeah.
And it came as a huge surprise to the city, and very much, apparently, to the orchestra.
Yeah.
And there have been a lot of letters written in favor of the conductor, and there's even been a couple public meetings between them. One was with the orchestra and the board, and then one even had citizens that came in and talked about it and stuff. I mean, all of Boston is seriously in a, what's that word Trump used, kerfuffle, about this.
Yeah.
And apparently it still stands, their decision still stands, and they've said this or that, but a lot of people feel that the conductor somehow is being blamed for the loss of revenue and things like that. But there's been a lot, and this isn't what I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Well, beyond that as well.
Yeah.
The deeper purpose of this article that they put in there. Well, one of the questions is, well, what some of the musicians were getting at, definitely, and a lot of citizens, in citing the excellent music making that they heard.
Yeah.
I said, well, we don't think it's the musicians who are responsible for what's happening.
Yeah.
And now, in some extent, you know, everybody kind of knows this who's in the performance business, especially in houses. Opera things, ballet things, symphony things. Ever since the 2020 COVID thing, audiences have dropped off.
Yeah.
Older people have become seriously more cautious about being amongst tons of people out in public.
Exactly, yeah.
And you see some people still on, you know, it was very rare. When I was in Japan, it was the weirdest thing. I got on a bus one time in Japan, and 3/4 of the people in there were wearing medical masks. And I thought, holy shit, you know, this is like a plague going around that we can't hear because we can't listen to Japanese radio.
Yeah.
Well, in a sense, a plague, but no, there was an outbreak of flu or something like that.
Yeah.
And so people were either wearing it because they were symptomatic or wearing it because they were trying to protect themselves.
Yeah.
It was very common. I mean, you'd see people, not like tons of people wearing masks all the time, but at times when there was alerts about, you know, there's a big cold thing going around, a big flu thing, or this, that, you start seeing them more. And they always had them available at the little convenience stands at train stations. But here in America, rarely. I don't know about you people, if any of you were listening from other places, but here in the United States, I don't remember seeing masks on people hardly ever out in public, you know. Honestly, before COVID?
Before COVID, not before COVID.
Yeah, but since, it's been more common that people who have somewhat compromised immune systems or bad allergies or things like that, you'll see them wearing the masks more now. And I think there's maybe the stigma of wearing it has kind of softened because we all were wearing them in 2020, right? But the audiences haven't rebounded entirely. And what I mean by that, the old wealthy people with the big bucks that were really paying for this stuff. So the article is written, and this has to do with something else, and I want your opinions on it, but I'll finish with this part of it. One of the things I was thinking about, and I've seen some other stuff in the news, especially like in Europe and places like that, there was a really interesting 2 or 3 articles I saw about some places. I don't know if any of them were in the States, I don't remember, but I do remember a couple of them, at least were in Europe. And they showed, one of them I think was Berlin Philharmonic. They had the house full of teenagers. And then maybe, one might say 10 to 16, 18 years old.
Yeah.
At concerts, and it was concerts for the children. And I was reminded of Leonard Bernstein's young people's concerts.
Yeah.
At the New York Philharmonic.
Yeah.
It's a very noble thing to invite children and younger people to experience the potential wonders, the classical music, the effects it can have on you.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, now for a long time they've been saying, that mothers should listen to Mozart while their babies are in their womb,
Yeah.
They put little baby speakers in their womb and play Mozart,
Yeah.
They think that they come out smarter and their brains are working more connected and all that. Maybe so.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, it's a wonderful thing, to do concerts, explain the music, and this is what it is. But I think what the real purpose for those is, it's not just a noble idea of trying to bring young minds and hearts into the classical arts.
Yeah.
No. A portion of those children will grow up to be wealthy industrialists and businessmen, and corporate leaders. They're the ones that are going to help support the arts because they got the money to do it. And it's a tax write-off, right?
Yeah.
So it is in any institutions. We're doing this at the Minor Corps. We have a small children's chorus. It's not nearly as big. Of course, our choruses aren't as big as they used to be. But we're growing, men's and women's, and we're bringing in some younger folks that are coming in. But with these kids that are singing, because a number of people that are adults now singing in our choruses were members of the Jugendchor or the Kinderchor, the youth or the children's choruses.
Yeah.
They get it in their ears and their bloodstream and stuff, and they like it, various aspects of it. And then as they age, either they move right into the adult group or they come back at some point, You do the early family stuff and get your work and everything settled, and then you start to find you got a little more time and you're missing some things spiritually in your life, And they show up for music, It's important to plant the young crops and keep the seeds every year, replant them and this and that, so that you got some really great heirloom tomatoes that you can enjoy later on, right? And I think that where people say, we can cut the corners, cut the expenses here, cutting the youth education programs. Come on, people. The young people are any civilization's future,
Yeah.
And to the extent that you can influence them into certain kind of things and places that you'd like, then I think you should do it as best you can. There is some idea with people that if you got money is connected with high arts and fancy things and stuff like that, and so you want to rub shoulders with people. Well, so be it. But because of the largesse of some of those really wealthy patrons, lots of other people can appreciate it and experience it. I was reading some articles about people. This is amazing to me that in Boston, but not amazing in terms of the city of Boston. But the one lady wrote and she said, I probably go to about 40 concerts a year. In one single calendar year. Well, you think that they're doing like 2 or 3 performances of each one, and then they're probably doing those 2 or 3 times a month. How many opportunities there are to hear music made by a great symphony orchestra like that, And she was saying, I think, I thought the guy's last name was Jansen anyway, but I'll figure it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I can't remember because I can see the guy, and I've seen him like guest conduct the Berlin Philharmonic in Berlioz Symphonie Fantastique one time.
Yeah.
But she said, I've been around. She said, I'm an older lady. I've been around. I heard some of the old ones, people. And she was talking about Seiji Ozawa, and she was talking about Charles Monk. She went back far enough to know Monk.
Wow.
And she said, Andres Nelson's. Andres Nelson is his name. She said, I think it's some of the finest playing I've ever experienced in my whole life of going to this symphony. So, then the question that Slip Disc brings up, and they said, we think this is a problem in the world. Finland seems to be putting out a ton of amazing conductors.
Conductors,
Young
yeah,
ones.
they are.
It's what are they doing? you
Yeah,
know?
I know.
That they bring out these extraordinarily well-trained artists. But how great are they? Because that young Klaus Mekla, who's
Yes.
going to take over the Columbus Symphony. No,
No.
Chicago.
Chicago.
Symphony, Chicago.
Yep.
And
San
directs
Francisco.
the Concertgebouw. And I think he was directing, what was it, Paris Opera or something? Or somebody. in
They
France.
said Chicago and San Francisco was mentioned.
He's going to get San Francisco as well?
I think so, because there was a lot of
Salonen left San Francisco rather infamously.
yeah. He's been making the headlines as well.
Eva-Pekka Salonen.
McCullough.
Klaus Mekla, yeah.
Yeah, he's been Dave Hurwitz. He's always got something to say about conductors. He's dubbed him as the Ken doll conductor.
Yeah.
Supposedly, they say he's good looking, and and for some reason he seems to draw a crowd, and so that's why some of these orchestras are, writing to him to at least guest conduct or appear as a, music director or something.
Yeah.
But from what I last heard, Dave Hurwitz mentioned Chicago and San Francisco.
Well, there's a big hole out there ever since
Yeah.
Eva-Pekka Salonen left because San Francisco had been dipping into its legacy funds for a bit, and they were a little bit concerned about that, and they'd lost some support. Again, it's one of those post-COVID kind of realities.
Yep.
And I think they were paying Salonen a good amount, and he, as a composer himself,
Yes.
is a huge supporter of contemporary music.
Yes.
Well, people on the board were saying, but our core audience really likes their Beethoven and their Brahms and their Tchaikovsky and everything. And they were putting more pressure on him. And I don't know in that situation how the orchestra felt about Salonen, but there was an understanding. And I think on his part, I think he volunteered to leave early and get out. Because they were facing some pretty bad financial problems. Interestingly, San Francisco, famous, they had Pierre Monteur and some really great artists there. But in our time, L.A. has taken off huge time. They had some big people there. They had Carla Maria Giulini was there for a period. Huh?
Blomstedt.
And Herbert Blomstedt, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then of course Gustavo Dudamel, the dude, and they've got this new Walt Disney complex. And the opera too, I've read about. LA is really going big balloons with their classical music scene. And I'm curious because some people, I've been a little bit down with the New York Philharmonic lately. I know they changed their hall, and people say the acoustics are better and all, and of course it's the Philharmonic. But did you know that in the world status, as far as the Europeans are concerned, New York is not one of our top orchestras. Cleveland, Boston, and Chicago are always ranked very high, and especially Cleveland, and Chicago. They often get ranked really high.
Yeah.
Well, and that's in comparison to like Philadelphia, and Boston does usually make the cut.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is pretty good, but I don't know if it makes it. But New York wasn't even on the list of the top 5.
Wow.
And
what about
yet
Pittsburgh.
Well, actually, I did read a great article. Pittsburgh did a European trip recently.
Yes.
With Manfred Honeck.
Yep, I saw that.
And they were getting rave reviews.
Yes, I saw it.
Honeck is something else. He's a Viennese guy, isn't he?
Right?
Yeah. Pittsburgh is the unknown star and secret in American music, because one of my earliest LP recording sets were the Beethoven symphonies with William Steinberg. And and I've subsequently learned, Steinberg was a highly regarded conductor. Not that he would have been known outside the country, but inside, he was pretty formidable and did some work. But then the other thing I didn't know, Fritz Reiner, who ended up in different places through his career in the United States, he was one of the disciples sent by the holy apostle Richard Strauss, some of his students to America. Antal Dorati was, I think, one of those as well.
He was one.
Reiner, for a period of time, was a director in Pittsburgh. Famously, he got to Chicago.
Yep.
And there's those famous videos, with that monstrous
bow.
Just this little tiny beatbox, like that. But the musicians play like, Swiss watch. They're incredible.
Well, they say
And
he was
he
a
did
great
some time. He did
mathematician.
some time at the
Yeah.
Metropolitan Opera as well. So.
Yeah.
But Pittsburgh has always been lucky. They've been in the hands of some amazing
Conductors.
conductors,
Yeah.
you know. But anyway, the article then goes to say what Lebrecht supposedly is the one
Yeah.
asking it. What happened to the great conductors?
Conductors, yeah.
Are there any of them, or
left.
why are they disappearing? He said he said, what's the difference between a competent or even a good, impressive conductor and a great conductor? And the article goes into a lot of, and I don't think he wrote the article, somebody else did, but I'll put up the information so you can read it yourself. But they chose Carlos Kleiber as the model of in the age of, well, von Karajan and Bernstein and various people like that. Carlos Kleiber as a legend goes down as probably the preeminent conductor of the later 20th century. And I have some of his recordings, and they are incredible. And I've seen him in videos
I know.
on YouTube, and it really is incredible the things he did. All I can say, and I'm not, touting myself as up there walking with sandals in the clouds, but I think I have a pretty highly developed musical aesthetic.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I can listen to certain performances or recordings, and after 2 or 3 minutes, I'm done with it. It just, when I hear a young pianist playing something, it's just like, I know the piece. I don't want to hear him play it. It's just, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Now, but there's exceptions. When you and John Lim sits down and plays, you listen, all right?
Yeah.
Because there's a genius master, very young, but there he is.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I mean, you can tell very quickly with the way the phrases are shaped, and somehow there's an energy in the music that wants to draw you in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, sometimes some great musicians weren't like that. And yet, I mean, maybe not in their personality or that. Like Reiner. I think Reiner was a mechanical master and a musical master as well, but kind of a stone-faced son of a bitch, really, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who agree with that.
Yeah.
Probably personally may have had his moments, but people said the boy was pretty tight.
Yeah.
And most of the stories they tell are the horrific ones that the musicians had to deal with.
Yeah.
But come on, I mean, I've got a recording of the C pieces of the Benjamin Britten,
Oh, okay.
and then on the other side, the Debussy, La Mer,
Yeah.
with Chicago Symphony and
Fritz
Reiner.
Reiner. Yeah.
Wow. Now I may be wrong about that. The C
Yeah.
pieces might be with Giulini, but old recording with Giulini. But the La Mer is definitely with Reiner.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what it is. It's an album that I have. One side is The Isle of the Dead of Rachmaninoff,
Yeah.
and the other side is Debussy's La
Debussy's
Mer.
La Mer. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, my impressive recordings.
Incredible.
I like the way he conducts Bartok.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Bartok, they're so together, and it's so precise.
The Concerto for Orchestra.
And, the Concerto for Orchestra. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the strings itself, even when they're in their higher registers, and it's just small, you hear them all.
Yeah.
It's was the amazing thing.
Yeah.
You hear them all.
Yeah.
So.
I always admired that about Bernstein. I thought Bernstein had the gift to take. Well, I saw it on TV. Gershwin's American in Paris, for example. But then the Mahler symphonies.
Yeah.
And they come across sounding like chamber music. By that I don't mean like small sound. Wonderful, rapturous sound.
Yeah.
But you can hear everything. It's almost like the guy had digital hearing before we even had digital recording. And pull out the voices, and it's not like a mixture. It's just everybody play. So you hear.
Yeah.
But it's somehow like you can hear the voices as
Yeah.
they're supposed to be there. You know, it's
Yeah. Well,
pointillistically beautiful stuff.
yeah. I tell you, he's a different beast, Bernstein.
Yeah.
He said the most important thing is not the notes, but the space between the notes.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, with the space between the notes, and the fact that that he went over and over passages, particularly the notorious rehearsal he had with the London Symphony, where they did the help me out, the Enigma variations.
Of Elgar.
Yeah, the Nimrod variations. If some of you don't know this story about Bernstein dealing with the London Symphony,
I'll be right back.
it's quite notorious. Okay, they didn't get along very well. Of course, you know, the London Symphony had a line of English conductors, you know, who conducted the Enigma variations by Elgar, and the piece basically belonged to them. Okay, and so the very fact that Bernstein was coming in to guest conduct them in the piece that belongs to them and their English conductors kind of raised some signals, some bad, and there was some really bad vibes, even just to begin with. If you ever get a chance, there is a video footage of the rehearsal concerning the Nimrod variations. It's a slow variation. Well, some of you, if you're familiar with the work, it's a slow work. But he'd come in and they'd rehearse this section, and he'd look, and the movements are precise, and he's totally entranced and concentrating, and it's almost as if he's willing, trying to use his own will to get the notes from different parts of the orchestra to move when he wants them to. And when it doesn't, there's a moment in there where he's still conducting and he looks at the violins and he says, "I didn't move." You know, and when he says that, he knows exactly what he wants. I didn't move. You know, and they still follow him, and when they finally get to the conclusion of that set of variation, he stops in midair, and he finally puts his hands down, and he says, "And that's the way it should go." But Bernstein, being Bernstein, like I said, he is a completely different beast. He'll always be. He's one of my heroes, you know, because he was an educator, not just a conductor, but an educator. Okay, he could explain the most complexities of composition and music to a layman. Okay, for me, I've looked at textbooks in music almost my entire life, and I have to read some of these paragraphs at least 4 or 5 times before I finally understand it. But Leonard Bernstein, I think it would have been phenomenal to have him as a teacher. He could explain theory, harmony to anybody. He could teach music to a construction worker.
Well, did you mention the Harvard lectures?
Oh, the Harvard lectures. The unanswered question.
Yeah.
The Harvard lectures. Oh, gosh.
That was extraordinary. It was over my head back in those years.
Yeah.
Some of what he was talking about. But over the time, I've got it. I think I own it.
Yeah.
And then you can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
George Eliot Norton, he was a famous professor.
Yeah.
And they invite a great scholar every year
Yeah.
to come and give a series of lectures. John Cage did it.
Yeah.
I have his presentation that he did at the Eliot Norton lectures.
Wow.
And then Bernstein's video of it. But one of the most incredible things I remember is when he's sitting at the piano
Mm-hmm.
and he's demonstrating complex rhythms and things. I don't know what the example was.
Yeah.
He's doing one with his right foot, one with his left foot, one with his right hand, and one with his left hand. 4 different very different rhythms, complex.
Yeah.
All at the same
time. Yes, he's notorious for
Lord D. I can do a couple, perhaps, or maybe 3.
3, if you're lucky.
But 4 or more than that. This just blew my mind. It still amazes me. I mean, there are certain people that, as we put it, you know, are very clearly on the top of the iceberg, you know.
Yeah.
Bernstein is definitely one of those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember a story he told to his class. I think it was in the unanswered question, and it was on the theory on serialism. Okay, so they're talking about the main original set, then the
Set theory.
set theory and everything. And so he says, okay, let's take for instance, he's talking to his composition class. Okay, let's take a look at this. He says, and he writes a bunch of letters on the board, and he says, okay, what is it? And he's standing there like this, and his composition students are looking at it, and they can't make heads or tails what it is. He says, look carefully, you'll be very familiar with this set of letters. And it's still no answer. He says, class, it's your names on the board. He says, this is I have this in what do they call it? Inversion here, and retrograde inversion.
Yeah.
In retrograde, these are your names.
Yeah.
And the whole class were like, he says, okay. He says, don't be, and he placated them until he was nice to them. He says, okay, not everybody's going to get it at the first try. They said, but it was a very interesting class. I've forgotten about that story, but and his conducting classes are notorious. In Earl Wild's memoirs, he remembers walking through Tanglewood, and he'd walk past Bernstein's conducting class, and you'd hear him slam his hands on the desk, and he says, how many times do I have to tell you? Do not accent beat one.
Yeah.
And he says, and it happened every time. He says every time he walked past the class, almost.
Did you mention who his conducting teacher was?
Fritz Reiner?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mention it, but here you go.
He studied with Fritz
Reiner.
Right.
Yeah. God bless him.
So there's a conducting master. But if you don't know the German guy, Carlos Kleiber.
Oh.
His father was Erich Kleiber, and they had Jewish blood in them for sure.
Yeah.
There are recordings of his father available.
What's his real name?
Who?
Carlos Kleiber. I'm told that Carlos was not his real name.
It is that. Well, it was given to him in South America.
Yeah.
He has his, I don't remember.
He said in an interview that he told his dad that he didn't want to be recognized because he's the son of
Carl something. But because of where he grew up in Argentina, I think it was.
Yeah.
His name became Carlos.
Yeah.
It's an interesting mixture. But his father's got some recordings out, and I've got them both saved on my list at Amazon. There's a collection of old 78s and some other stuff. And I've got some of Erich Kleiber.
Yeah.
But he took a job in 1930 at the Teatro Colón.
Yeah.
In... is that Argentina? I think so. But to get out of Berlin, to get away from the Nazis. And so Carlos actually distanced himself from music for a good period of time. He studied chemistry and was apparently quite good at it.
I remember that.
But about the age of 18, and I'm sure he played the piano.
Yeah.
Growing up in the house. But at the age of 18, he got serious about it and started studying compositions and things like that.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting because rather quickly he asked his father his permission to become a conductor, and his father begrudgingly said, right, just know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I think in certain ways he surpassed his father.
Oh,
I know some. I wouldn't say I know really well, but let's put it this way: it's maybe not a nice thing to say, but Father Kleiber, in my mind, doesn't approach Fort Wengler or one might even say Von Karajan's definitely a style.
No.
And some other great composers. Yeah. And I would rather listen to Carlos than his dad, Eric, when it comes down to it. But they got a couple video excerpts of him.
Yep.
He was a very private man. He didn't give interviews, almost never.
Yep.
He wasn't about his personality. He was about music. and he was kind of a philosopher, warrior, monk kind of artist, you know. Very interesting guy. I think he had homes in different places, of course, but he liked sports cars. And he was a very tall guy, but he would get in these little tiny sports cars. He would drive around. You know. He's married forever to a Slovenian ballet dancer.
Wow.
It was impressive. Plus, he had a great sense of humor. There's very famously, you have to look at the videos of funny moments with Carlos Kleiber conducting the pit. And there's one, I think it's a Wagner opera, or Strauss. I think it's Strauss.
It's the Fledermaus.
Fledermaus, is it?
Yep.
Where the entrances are off and they're not doing things. And at one point, he just goes like this.
Yes, he's still
he's
waving
conducting.
like this.
And at some point, he just looks at them and he's like mouthing something up on stage. And he takes his baton and does harakiri on himself while they cuts it around, you know. I wonder the orchestra must have been dying.
Oh, they must have been dying.
Because he just takes it and goes.
And the whole time, while he's conducting, he's talking to the concertmaster.
Yeah.
And he's shrugging his shoulders like this.
What the hell's going on up there?
You know, and then he goes out. He goes up.
And it's not
there.
there.
And it's not there. And he's like, and then he'll be shaking his head. No. Then there.
He was, I think, from what I hear, he was a wonderful guy. I mean, one of the things they talk about in one of the excerpts, and it's for the Fledermaus.
Oh yeah.
He said to see from the beginning, because this can be a problem. I mean, this is why you need great conductors to really inspire the musicians.
Yeah.
Because these people that play in these great orchestras, they're incredibly good musicians themselves.
Oh yeah, very good.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And who's this guy coming in to tell us how to play, you know? And yet that's the way it works, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So they say, you know, that initially you get kind of a mechanical response and this and that, and, you know, hopefully they'll be professional if we'll do it like this, you know, and stuff like that. But they said it was amazing in the video excerpt. I haven't had time to watch it because I just saw the article this morning, but I have seen other things. That in that 40 minutes, you can see the relationship between him and the orchestra in 40 minutes, changing from them being very meticulous, very professional, but standoffish, to being thoroughly, passionately engaged with what's happening.
Yeah,
after about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That a total transformation of the mentality of the orchestra towards this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I know which passage you're talking. It was a certain passage, I think it was in the Beethoven Symphony or something, where the rhythm was dun 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 dun, and he kept telling you it must sound like ta-des, ta-des. He said, and it's not that. It sounds like more like Marie, Marie. And he must have ran through that passage at least a dozen times on that video.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But he could sense the difference between Marie and Therese.
I remember seeing some films. Another great conductor I love.
Yeah.
And I've got some old recordings of his from just after the Second World War.
Yeah.
Celibidache.
Oh, yes.
Sergio Celibidache. He was Romanian. He actually was an assistant, was brought in after Fort Wrangler was brought down. Yeah. Immediately after the Allies won because Nazi musicians were
supposed to be a movie about him.
Yeah, they're supposed to be making one.
Yeah,
John Malkovich.
Yeah, Malkovich. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about its release.
Either have I.
But Celibidache was. I mean, I've got this European. I was going to bring in some of those next time, maybe. Yeah. Those recordings I have in the big, tall, thin boxes with 4 CDs in them.
Yeah.
I bought all those in Europe.
Wow.
I've got a whole bunch of them that I bought. But I have a Celibidache.
Wow.
in my conductors collection. And it's the recordings that he did with the Berlin Philharmonic.
Oh.
He was a director for 4 or 5 years, something like that, after they had to dismiss Furtwängler from the job. And of course that was, Furtwängler was a god to these musicians, you know. Yeah. It just, and everybody thought, but this guy hated the Nazis, and he, you know, really fought them and stuff, but the Allies and such had an outside understanding of the situation, and they kept him out of. But very interesting, the Yehudi Menuhin came to the rescue for Furtwängler very specifically.
Yeah.
You guys are making a mistake. You know?
Yeah.
And he's Jewish.
Oh, yeah.
And he's saying, this guy is a mensch, a wonderful person.
Oh,
Fought so hard at the beginning to keep the Nazis away from his Jewish musicians and all that. I don't know that he succeeded forever, but anyway, Celibidache, he eventually found himself at the helm of Munich.
Yeah.
Munich is a very interesting orchestra in Germany because, probably because of Celibidache,
Yeah.
they have a very unique standing in that country. They are not the Berlin Philharmonic. They're not from Köln. They're not even the Elbphilharmonie in Hamburg. They are a very unique ensemble, which has a history going back to Hans von Bülow.
Ooh,
Being their
that
director.
far back.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
even farther back. But Hans von Bülow was the director in the later 19th century and introduced the first performances of Wagner in Berlin, or in Munich and such.
Yeah.
Von Bülow was really interesting because except for the cellists and maybe certain people that needed to sit,
Yeah.
at least with the strings, when they performed, they
Stood up. Yeah. Yeah.
And he expected to know their parts so well that they could do it by
Memorized.
memory.
Exactly. I forgot
If
about
need
that
be.
detail.
You know?
Amazing. So they could keep watch on him. Yeah.
So that's Munich, and it's had an unusual history probably because Munich has always been a rather independent state, the Bavarian state. When not Hindenburg, Bismarck pretty much got around to uniting Germany, and then they were going to go to war with France in 1870-71 was a big war between the Germans and the French. Last time in the 19th century anyway, but he wrote the king, Ludwig II, who'd been the supporter of Wagner, to get some troops together and commit to fighting the French.
Yeah.
Well, southern Germany, especially in Bavaria in some ways, probably because of a very long history of warfare, but interaction between the cultures, had a more flexible understanding of their relationship than they did up north. And so King Ludwig, of course, said, okay. But he wrote his response to Bismarck in French and signed it Louis, not Ludwig.
Oh,
signed his name Louis.
Oh.
But what's my point for saying? Oh, because of the Munich Philharmonic. Celibidache became quite famous because he began to be seriously influenced internally and personally by Buddhism, and specifically Zen Buddhism.
Yeah.
The one big box I have of his stuff even has the kind of personal crest that he adopted, which is a Buddhist circle, red circle and symbol. And he developed these theories about music in a way like Roberto talked about the space between the notes.
Yeah.
This is something that, perhaps in a different way, but equally, and if not more so effective in certain ways, his music was meant to have an internal evolutionary and propulsive energy that would reveal itself. Not that you would master it and command it and demand that it behave in a certain way, but that you would allow it to express itself.
Exactly. I was thinking that.
Now, one has to say that it's still under great control, and for it to, let's put it this way, it might be revealing itself, but according to the mind interpretation and expectations of Celibidache. But there's a really good video of him when he goes back, how many years was it? 30 or 40 years. Historically went back to conduct the Berlin Philharmonic, because what happened? He was conducting and had a great relationship with the orchestra. There seemed to be a lot of them that liked him. But von Karajan was making a big, big push to get taken up, to take over the Berlin Philharmonic.
Yeah.
And they took Funkaria.
Yeah.
And Chelbadaki was really seriously wounded by it.
Oh.
And I think there's a big because when he comes back in the video, I think what is a little icy in some ways is that he talks about the Berlin sound and the way they play and all this. But there's a little bit of a cut in it, in the way that he says it. You also have to know when he's speaking German to them, some of the words is, if you speak German, you think, oh, that wasn't really nice. The choice of the word that he used. Well, of course, these musicians are picking this out.
Yeah.
And I don't think he succeeds. Of course, they're professionals, and they do what he wants them to do.
Yeah.
He's very strict with them and very demanding about the way they're playing. And if it's possible to say that he erased the presence of Funkarian and his sound with them, he pretty much succeeded in doing that in that concert.
Yeah.
Because I thought they played really the Berlin Philharmonic. Come on, and they played the way Chelabadache wanted the music to really happen.
Yeah.
There was a master. There's something there, and there's some. I mean, and he was very controversial. I remember when I was in Germany. For a period of time, Bayreuth and Klaus, my kind of German brother, gave me a recording, my first one, actually, I think, of Chelabadache and some of his orchestral excerpts from Wagner's music.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think of this. And I remember the first time I heard his Meistersinger. The Meister's bum bum ba 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 bum 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 ba da. Pretty much, all right, somewhere in there. This is kind of, what the tube is playing.
Yeah.
Bum 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 bum. But I mean, a little bit. I mean, the first time it was like.
It's a shock.
But there was something, for me, there was something compelling about it. For example.
But everything he touches,
I'm thinking,
it gives you an impression like that. Everything. The Ninth Symphony of Beethoven. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The scherzo movement.
But I immediately leaped to Schnabel versus Wilhelm Kempf. Even Schnabel and Brindle versus Wilhelm Kempf in Beethoven, for example.
Yeah.
I'm a latecomer, I would say. It wasn't until my master's period because I learned that Howard had a Fulbright and he went and took lessons with Kempf in Switzerland. And because of that, I wanted to know who this Kempf guy was. And I first started to learn a little bit about him. At that time, even so, there was a wonderful CD store run by Charles somebody. A little narrow place with some things in it, but he was such an amazing guy. I talked about him in our show years ago, or a couple of years ago. He was a very dapper fellow and always dressed. He was gay and had a partner, and he would always call people up at home when there's a question. Because whoever it was that was on the other end of the phone knew the answers to the things that he didn't know.
Okay.
And his store was really fabulous. It's some of the first amazing CD recordings I found. He only had CDs at that time. He got rid of all the LP stuff. It's the first time I ever had heard of or saw Pearl Records.
Pearl,
so I started to buy some Pearl stuff. And I would go in and ask him, and I'd talk about certain people and stuff. And he, of course, was in that very snide. And I don't mean these come-on people. I know a lot of gay people. Very dear friends. But you know what I'm talking about. That snide, really gay, persnickety kind of thing. Plays. Like about Rubinstein's friend. Oh, plays. I'm not sure you said that about Rubinstein, but you mentioned a certain artist or somebody that just
pretty good impression.
Didn't take the cut. Oh, please, get out of my store. But I'm not sure why I leapt on that. Oh, it's because of the Kempf.
Yeah.
That's where I first, I think, found a recording or two of his. And what I would say is the word that comes to mind with Kempf's playing and Chelabadake's music making is luminous.
Yeah.
it's like light appears in a kind of way, like God, like one of those old Cecil B. DeMille films, when Moses, somebody's up on the mountain, they're just like, I was trying to think of a word now, but I can't think of it. Maybe I will while we're talking about something else. But, what's it called? Numinous. We had a class in my freshman year in literature affected by Christianity or not like Christian writers, but people affected by, because like C.S. Lewis and the Narnia Chronicles and stuff like that, and how it tells biblical stories and stuff like that, but or it writes science fiction, but it's based upon Christian influenced legends and stories like that. But I remember him talking about the numinous experience, and the numinous experience is spelled Numinous, is in any situation. Even cited examples of car accident that can happen. But clearly in a moment that causes a violent, maybe not violent is the right word, but a sudden rift in time and in the moment that pulls your attention in. And you become immediately aware of something larger and greater than what's right there. There's a bigger theme, a bigger picture, a bigger energy. This goes implying that it's God. It's the presence of God in that moment. There's some performers, Kempf playing Beethoven and Schubert. Cello Badaki eventually the Munich Orchestra played nearly anything. And who else came to mind? Leopold Stokowski. His recordings of his transcriptions of Bach. I have Wagner. It was one of the first, what do they call it? LPP or something. It was a British thing with a new recording technology. It's supposed to be like 4-dimensional or something. But I heard some Stokowski just recently. He had a way. I have a similar effect. I don't know if it's to everything, but I realized when I was listening to this excerpt of Stokowski conducting, I know it was was it the Elgar Concerto? It was one of these slip disc things, and there was a video, and it was Stokowski conducting it. I thought it was a British piece. But there was that.
Was it the Enigma variation?
It could have been that, but it was the sound and the approach to the music. I'd never made this connection before. But, Stokowski was an organist. And I mean, if organ, when those guys really know how to play, have all those manuals and all that, and the way they could just, you know what I'm talking about?
I know what exactly.
The breath and the space and the music and everything.
And then when they pull the swell pedal, and then the sound just goes. And it's because you've got constant wind in it. So it's like the bow's always never broken, it's always moving, or there's constant wind available there. And it's interesting that he worked so much with the Philadelphia Orchestra, because that, and then with Eugene Ormandy, and after Stokowski left, Eugene Ormandy was with him for like 45 years. There was the famous Philadelphia sound. And I always thought that sound was gorgeously lyric and legato. It's like an almost unbroken thing. Certain repertoire, some of the big pieces, some of the later, even Russian orchestral pieces and things like that. I remember, which is it, Scheherazade, for example. Ormandy and the Philadelphia Orchestra. Bom, 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 bom. But just the string playing and everything, when they're playing, it's almost like sea music. Wow. And I can understand that now. Somebody like Cello Badaki going up to Berlin, which, come on, Yeah.
It is a stupendous orchestra, and
Yeah.
they control themselves, you know.
Yeah.
I just read where there's a Finnish flutist who had played for the Metropolitan Opera for years, and before that, Chicago, I think.
Yeah.
Just passed his 3-year probation at 50-something, and he's now the principal flute for the Berlin Philharmonic.
Oh God.
And you're talking standards.
Wow.
Big time when everybody gets in there and plays.
Yeah.
And I hear horror stories for people that got out. Like somebody left them and I think ended up in L.A. or Nebraska or something like that. Can finally breathe again.
Yeah.
Just talking about the level of expectation, and demand on the artistry and what you do and what you have to do. And of course, I don't know who their conductor is now. Rattle left.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Petrenko, right? Kirill Petrenko.
Oh, Petrenko, yeah.
Oh, I think it's amazing. That's a guy that's right up there.
Yeah.
And I've heard him do like Tchaikovsky or Dvorak or something.
What's his first name?
Kirill.
Kirill, okay.
And there's another Petrenko.
Yeah,
brother,
is it Vasily?
Vasily, is it? Yeah, he's in
Vasily.
England or something like that.
Something like that.
But Kirill and the Berlin are a really good match, I think. Because he himself, he's composer-oriented and loves different music. So did Simon Rattle.
Yeah.
But I had a subscription. I let it lapse this last year because I just wasn't having enough time to watch as much. But the Deutsche Philharmonic or Berlin Philharmonic digital thing, digital concert hall they call it. And I'll put it up on there. It's really worth looking into.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, they have all this archive stuff, and then all the concerts you listen to live at times.
Yeah.
You can be right there in your living room, in your chair, and the lights go up, and it's the Berlin Philharmonic in real time. Of course, it's 8 hours later in the day than it is here, but I've heard some Beethoven. I mean, I've heard other things. I listen to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But I was really surprised, like, I think it was Dvorak 8th or 9th Symphony.
Uh-huh.
Beethoven more than once, and the other one was Tchaikovsky. I think it was the 5th.
Good.
Wow, really impressive, really special. I mean, I know these pieces, I know this music. So actually, I'm at the point now. I'm not meaning to be a snob or nothing, but it's like that's why I get more into the interpretation.
Yeah.
You know, who's doing it.
Yeah.
You know, because I want to be impressed. It's not like I don't know this piece. But if I'm going to listen to Beethoven's 3rd Symphony, I want to hear a hell of a masterful performance.
Yeah.
Or if not that, then a very interesting approach or something to it. But
It's
if
about
just
style.
kind of standard stuff,
Style.
you know, then
Yeah.
I have to say I'm a pretty critical listener, and don't get me wrong, people, but I'm supportive of young people's talent and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, if it was required of me. But I'm pretty particular about what I'm going to spend my listening time on.
Yeah.
Because I don't have always a lot of time. And if I'm going to listen, then I want to listen to something truly worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Special. So, anyway, that's that whole thing about the conductor thing. So I'll put that article up there so you guys can read it yourself. But it's pretty interesting what they have to say. And looking at the present situation, and then just thinking why Boston's letting Anders Nelson's go.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing they're saying is that they were thinking, well, maybe they're trying to open the door for Eva-Pekka Salonen. But then everybody's starting to say, based upon the animosity that's developing, you know, situation in the city versus the board and with the orchestra themselves.
Yeah.
Who wants to step into that snake pit?
Wow. Yeah.
Who wants that?
That's a hell of a snake pit.
I don't know how they're going to resolve it. Nelson's has been very diplomatic and very, okay, this is their decision, so that'll be it. We'll do the best we can with what we have left.
Yeah.
Apparently he's cried a couple times. They're apparently, after this whole release of everything, is a wonderful story.
Yeah.
Boston newspaper, I think that I got. The first performance that Boston and Nelson's did after this whole announcement announcement thing happen?
Yeah.
When he first came out on stage, the orchestra, pounded, and the audience got up and cheered.
Wow.
And then at the end of the concert,
Right.
pretty much the applause and the cheers and the bravos, and they said it was. The people did say no, it was legitimately amazing music making. But they said finally the audience was still clapping and shouting and stuff, and the musicians just said, "I gotta go and get some sleep." They were getting up out of their chairs and walking off. And Nelson's is still coming out occasionally to take a bow and stuff, but he cried.
Oh, I'm sure
He
he
was so
did.
touched by it. But isn't that wonderful to have that kind of support and following?
Exactly.
And doesn't that speak
Well deserved.
more than anything by anybody else?
Yes.
And so there's been a more talk too about
Yeah.
organizations really being heard by the administration,
Yeah.
by people that have, perhaps they have to deal with the business side of things, but they should not be making super critical decisions about the music.
Yeah.
That's why you hire a music director or an artistic visionary.
Visionary. Yeah.
Right? That's their job. And,
Yeah.
and I think administrator, you want to try to support that, but I think what it amounts to is that the administration of Boston appears to be hanging Nelson on the cross and making him responsible for
The plummeting.
the problems.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
he's also, I think, now he's the director at Leipzig.
is he?
I think so.
Wow.
So.
Well, on a different note.
Yeah. So was that good to talk about?
Oh, it was wonderful.
Okay. We got thrifty stuff, right?
Yeah, we do.
And we have not so much Witch and Kitchen, but we have a little treat.
Okay.
You want me to get it?
Okay.
You want to introduce something?
Don't be
I'll
introduced
get
to
that.
Okay. Well. Okay. Do you want?
We
What
can,
do you want me to
we can
do?
split up thrift if you want to. You do yours.
Okay. So.
And I'll do my stuff. I don't have time.
I think so.
Yeah, you want to?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, this
This
ends
is
this
not
part of.
officially Witch and Kitchen because
No.
we didn't cook it.
Okay, we didn't cook it.
Okay.
Okay, we didn't cook it. We're going to grab
Right,
a
so here
snack
we go.
anyways. So, anyways.
Are you ready, boys?
Oh, just want to get our hats. We get hats.
Hats.
We get our
Okay,
hats.
we're going to get hats in the
Oh,
next segment.
we're hats.
So, folks, you've been with us. Next segment, you all know it. It's one of our favorite segments, too. It's PSI's High Plains Thrifter. Yes. Are we done yet?
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Oh, you are back. Holy moly. I need to count better. Okay, well, folks, welcome to PSI's High Plains Thrifter. You know what we've been doing? We've been digging around our archives or going to thrift stores or book sales at libraries, trying to find those old discoveries, through the, archaeological finds and things. But anyways, a while back, maybe 1 or 2 episodes ago, I introduced you to a pianist, one Victor Rosenbaum. It's a CD live from the Longy School of Music. Here, I'll show it to you as a refresher. It was this CD. You might recognize it. It had the 6 piano pieces, Opus 118 by Brahms, the Wanderer Fantasy by Schubert, and CD 2 had Beethoven's Third Concerto.
What's his name?
Victor Rosenbaum.
Oh. Huh?
There he is.
Okay.
So, anyways, I went back to the library. I found this and lo and behold, this was sitting behind all those CDs. It's another Victor Rosenbaum CD.
Oh, good for you.
This one is a Beethoven trilogy. A Beethoven trilogy. It contains the last 3 sonatas, Opus 109, 110, and 111.
Did you like this?
Oh my! What are we?
We're not doing Witch and Kitchen.
We're not doing Witch and
We're
Kitchen.
just
What is it?
because it's Easter this coming.
Oh,
weekend,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's just a reason to have some little sweets. But
Wonderful.
we went real quick. So we'll continue our thrifting thing.
Okay.
Here. Sorry about the interruption.
That's all right.
We went to Wyland's Market, There's an old family grocery store in Clintonville, which is center kind of place inside of Columbus. It's a wonderful community, and it's a wonderful grocery store. It sets itself apart by having a lot of unique products, not like your typical big grocery store chain kind of thing. There, you can get everything there. You know, pasta sauces, tuna fish, and all that kind of stuff. But it's special from certain kind of places. I actually went there because there's a bakery up in the Cleveland area called Reinekers. And it's an old German bakery. They use spring water and really good, I don't know if it's organic, but it's really good quality baking ingredients and things like that. I just recently bought one of their huge loaves of rye bread, already sliced and everything, and got that at what's called the Russian store in Columbus. We're on Main Street. I've put up little pictures of this place. I'm just trying to... We're not endorsing and we're not paid or anything like that, but just mentioning a few places that we like to shop and eat at or buy our provisions. The Russian store has a lot of great imported Russian, Ukrainian, and Eastern European products. Really nice stuff, really good stuff. And then Wyland's receives things from a lot of different bakers. So Reinekers actually also makes some Eastern European type pastries, including like a poppy seed roll and one that's made with walnuts. I love them both. They're really well made. And I went there specifically because I heard they delivered on Wednesdays there. But they didn't have any pastries at all. There was nothing. I don't know if it was already bought out but where they had the Reinekers products, all they had was bread left. And I did buy some full cornbrod, which is whole grain bread from them, which was nice. But then I was looking around and seeing different things, and I found this gorgeous cherry pie. I want to show them the side of it, especially so they can see the beautiful cherries. Beautifully made cherry pie from Stevens Bakery in Urbana, Ohio. My grandfather's family had a whole bunch of relatives, even on my dad's side too. Urbana was like a city, small city, built by farmers. You know, did very well. It was a good farming community. It's like Amish, probably Mennonite people up there, and then other people doing farming. But eventually they built themselves a nice little town. And I'd say the whole legacy of what's really great about farm life and farm creativity, you can find there. They got a lot of great food products that come out of it. But this is a cherry pie from there. And we bought it at Wyland's Market. And they had a whole bunch of various kinds of things that came from different local businesses.
Wow.
And farms and things like that. So we're going to enjoy that while we do our thrifting.
Bon appetit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had my first piece last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
It was something else.
Oh, look at that.
I like pie more than cake.
Oh, yeah.
And I love cherry pie. I love peach pie. I like French silk pie.
Wow.
I like a really good banana cream pie. If they know what they're
Oh,
doing.
gosh. I like pie and cake.
I like cake, but if I had a choice between a great pie, well, maybe what I do and a great cake, maybe I start with the pie and then drink some coffee or water to cleanse my palate, and then I'd eat the chocolate gâteau.
Oh.
But not the other way around.
What do you think of pies or cake a la mode?
I like it. This is whipped cream on top.
Yeah, this is fine. This is good. Oh, my.
Oh, the other thing I like sometimes, it's a New England tradition. Apple pie with cheddar cheese on top. You ever had that?
I have never heard of
You
that.
warm the apple pie and the cheddar cheese kind of melts on the top. It's really quite nice because it gets the salty and the sweet
Huh.
all together. You never had that?
I have never heard of it.
Take some sharp cheddar and you just lay a little bit on top of the pie and warm it up.
Wow.
Kind of melts onto it. It's really quite a pleasant mix, actually. I've only done it with apples. Apples and cheese go together well.
Wow.
What fruits otherwise? It's apples and cheese, right? French always put apples and cheese together.
Wow.
Peach and cheese? I don't think so. Pears and cheese sometimes, yeah. You get brie cheese with pear slices, nice boss pear. Berries and cheese, I don't know about that. And then exotic ones, pineapples, guavas, stuff.
No.
So it's pretty limited what you put with it.
Yeah.
But the French, I mean, been putting together cheese and apples forever.
Wow. Did not know that. I'm told somewhere in New England, I might be wrong about this, but
Wow.
they started a very unique burger where they take a glazed donut and cross section and put it on the grill, and they turned this glazed donut into a cheeseburger.
Oh my.
They put a cross section of a donut. They put it on the grill, toast it, put a slide of burger in between, and some cheese, a slice of American cheese. Oh my! It actually looks good, and I would imagine it's even better if you try
Well,
it.
you can try it here in Columbus because I've seen somebody's doing that here.
They are?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Slicing up donuts and using them as hamburger buns.
Who does that
I
here?
don't remember, but you can look it up online.
Wow.
I saw it not too long ago where the concept to me, no.
No?
Well, I love cheeseburger, good cheeseburger, and I love a good donut, but I wouldn't eat them together.
Well, you get the sweet and salty.
I know. I don't know.
You don't know?
Oh, the cheeseburger, I like the brioche bun kind of thing, or Hawaiian bun kind of thing.
Okay.
Those are pretty good. I like a nice golden crispy outside with kind of a Frenchy, airy kind of bread to it. Not the cheap white bread crap, but
Now, what doesn't make sense to me is pineapple on a pizza.
oh, I'm a big one there though.
You're a big one there?
Years
Really?
ago, there was a place called Electric Pizza
Oh, come on.
in Springfield, and it was an old shoe cobbler store. It
Yeah.
looked like a shoe, and the pizza place moved in there, and it was right on the edge of Wittenberg campus. And we went there one time, and they had a Hawaiian pizza. I thought it wasn't right because growing up in Springfield, but we had Italians there, and we had some decent pizza and stuff. I mean, pizza's evolved enormously in the Midwest since
Yeah.
my childhood. But he said it was ham, pineapple, and onions. And I thought, what would that be like? But, I thought, okay. I've always been like, yeah, give it a try, I think it's incredible. I love it.
You like it? You like it? Oh, my
Tomato
God.
sauce, pizza, cheese, and ham. Canadian bacon. Really, is what they do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Actually, once in a while I'll get that. We are blessed here in Columbus. Did you know we're getting national coverage that with food magazines in New York City, they're talking about not just Ohio, but Columbus, Ohio, pizza. Well, and restaurants in general.
Yeah.
Columbus
Yeah.
has really got a hell of a reputation. Good
Wow.
one. But they're talking about pizza, and of course we know here we have what's called a Columbus-style pizza. It's the party cut stuff with the little squares and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's a typical Ohio thing. Plus, I imagine the crust must have been, because it goes back to like the 1920s or 30s with some old Italian families that were here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if they didn't come from Rome or somewhere in that
Yeah.
part of Italy, because our traditional Columbus crust is very thin, and in some cases almost crackery thin,
Yeah.
and a little dryish, not tasty.
Yeah.
But then on the other, we got everything here. We got deep dish. We've got what's called Detroit style, which is another version
Yeah.
of deep dish in a way. And everything you can get. Well, there's a wonderful place that we like to go to up here called Jet's Pizza. It's from Detroit.
Yeah.
And they're famous because what they did, they took the automotive pans that mechanics would use,
Yeah.
the dark black kind of
Yep.
rectangular pans, that were used, you're working on a car and you throw the parts in there.
Yeah.
And then when you're done, you get them out and put them back and stuff. Somebody had the brilliant ideas. Well, you bet you could make a pizza in that thing. And so they make a crust, which is more like focaccia. It's a little bit denser breadish kind of thing, where deep dish in Chicago is a little more squishy breadish.
Yeah, it is.
This is a little bit more focaccia-like, and they intentionally put, I think, oil or butter or whatever on the outside of it, so it gets golden, crispy, crunchy. So it's crunchy and then a kind of focaccia texture on the inside. That's that. But they also make a New York style, which they do, I think, very effectively, and hand tossed and various things like that. There is real New York pizza here called Borgata's.
Borgata's, I've heard of it.
Which is fabulous. They even had the monster size one,
Yeah.
And what's telling about New York style pizza is you take that one big slice and it doesn't go bleh.
Yep, that's the one.
It stands up when you eat it, and then you fold. New York style, you fold it almost like a sandwich and eat it. But Ohio's been getting recognized for a lot of stuff. Columbus. And we have our Columbus style, and it's beginning
to catch on
around the country in certain places where people have had it here. And there's some people that are like opening up places, and they're doing Columbus, Ohio style pizza.
Wow.
And then there's a new place. We haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
But where we live up here in Lewis Center, they just put in a drive-in, get your sodas and beer kind of place.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other things. There's a goldfish swimming school for the kids right up here.
Yeah, I saw it. It's,
there's a new food truck that's parked out in that parking lot.
I saw it. Yeah, I don't remember the name though.
It's Indian, like Asian Indian.
Wow.
And they're making street food things, but adapting Western dishes, which happens in India. So they have Indian pizza.
No way.
So, for example, and this got written up in a New York review of some of the best pizzas around the country. This is a little truck place, which is why we gotta go try it. Their Indian tikka masala pizza, people said, "Oh my God. It's
that
like
good?
Tikka masala on pizza."
Wow.
And they have like butter chicken and paneer and all kinds of things like that. They're putting basically they're putting Indian food on apparently a really well done, well made pizza crust.
Wow.
So go figure. And then they have other dishes as well like that. But I mean, I've been very happily surprised. I mean, my wife Flora, she's from southeastern Arizona, from Tucson.
Yeah.
And I used to live out there. We actually met years ago back at that time, but we weren't together.
Right.
She kind of looked me up, and I said, "Come on out here." She's, and so we've been together now for 11 years here. And sometimes she wants to go back at least to see her old stomping grounds in the desert and everything. Wants me to come with her, and I think, well, maybe at some point, maybe we'll go out there and visit. She said, "Well, you ever think you're going to move there?" And I said, "I don't know. A lot hotter than it used to be, and you got them scorpions and snakes and Gila monsters." I don't know. I've gotten kind of, fat and happy, and I call the people here hobbits. They're like hobbits. Here. I do have hairy toes, and I said, the hobbits are resourceful, industrious people. They have, lots of food and stuff they make for themselves, and they like to celebrate and be together and stuff. And it just seemed to me like, as I moved back to Ohio as an adult later in my life and been here in Columbus, doesn't the lifestyle here remind you of in the film, The Lord of the Rings? Being with the hobbits? Their houses close to the ground, the farms and the hard work and everything in a way.
In some places. Other places, not so much.
Yeah. But I always joke with her about, you've been living with us hobbits long enough, you're going to miss it. You're going to go out there to that arid desert bereft of everything with all them crazy people from California. And you're going to want to come back here to us hobbits. But, okay, and I actually promised to a lot of people, but we're putting it on the show, but since we have a limited viewership, I think it's not unheard. We'd love to have more people.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
we kind of like to keep it a little secret about
What?
how nice Columbus is as a community, as things go.
Okay.
The restaurants, the food options,
Yeah.
international things, international grocery stores,
Yeah.
you know, and of course we've got good music here,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, why would you want to keep that a secret?
Because we don't want everybody moving here and taking it over and turning it into a little New York.
Oh. It's called sharing the love.
Well, you can come listen to it and partake of it, but get the hell out of here eventually. Go back home. I can say that because I was born in Ohio.
Okay.
I'm being facetious, but
We're if
if you love it here, then you know. But don't try to expect us to be like, you know, some monster big city and start saying snide things about us, because it's our charm as kind of hobbit type people. That's who we are, in my opinion. You want to do some more? You got any more? You got time? I got a little bit of time.
A little bit
I
of
don't
time.
have to teach till 4:30.
Okay.
Today, so.
All right. Well, all right.
What do you say?
Okay.
How much?
We'll give about 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, I can get through this quick.
Okay.
You want to do the books first?
I'm sorry?
I want to do the books first. I got 2 books.
Okay.
I've been. Well, those actually I pulled out of my library, but
Okay.
some of them. But I've been getting books again. I loved thrift books out of Texas, and I was looking for some things for some particular category reasons in Amazon, and I never spend that much. I get good deals. Here's a really cool book. You know the Wittgensteins?
Wittgenstein's? Yeah.
The Wittgensteins,
Yeah.
for example, Ludwig was the great philosopher, but then his brother, whose first name I can't remember, was the guy who lost his right arm. Paul Wittgenstein, and
Yeah.
Ravel wrote the Left-Hand Concerto for him.
Yeah.
A bunch of other pieces. The guy was determined to be a concert pianist, even though he lost an arm.
Yeah.
This is a really cool story. It's a biography as such, written about the Wittgenstein family. And they were one of the wealthiest and most powerful families in Vienna. They're Jews.
Uh-huh.
You know, going back for a ways, I guess. But interesting, the book is written by Alexander Waugh, W-A-U-G-H, whose great uncle, I think it was,
Yeah.
Evelyn Waugh, the famous British writer. So the interesting thing is that Alexander is from a family of writers, generationally, right, do various things. And he writes about a generational family that was very colorful. So that's one of the books that I got. You showed me.
Wow.
Now, before you go up there, then I found this book,
A family at war.
With Themselves.
Oh.
Just they were so bright and individual that they were often characteristically.
He kind of resembles Shostakovich a little
Yeah,
bit.
he does.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure which one that is though. If that's Ludwig or not. But look at here.
What? The Making of a Assembly Concert Grand.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a pretty cool book.
That is a very cool
I
book.
got it for $6.
Nice.
This is a guy who's an amateur pianist, very avid, and then writes for some major periodicals in New York City.
Nice.
But he decided to write a book and really research how
A Steinway.
Concert Grand Steinway is made.
Oh,
And
gosh.
the book goes through the whole process and the people that are involved in doing it, the craftsmen and all that. It looks really interesting, like a good read.
Well, I would imagine it would be a good read. Bring it
Yeah,
up there?
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Then I'll just have a few for you.
All right.
I'll be done.
The House of Wittgenstein. You don't know if that's called Wittgenstein or not. Could be. And the making of a Steinway piano. Handsome cover. Wow. Those are nice.
Yeah. So then I got some recordings,
Okay.
and I'm going to just show you one we introduced before,
Okay.
but I had time to listen.
All right.
This is this box set of Edwin Fisher,
Ooh.
later, like the last decade of his life,
Wow.
recordings, and he's conducting in some of this stuff.
Brandenburg.
Oh, he does Brandenburg concertos, but he led this festival, I think, in Switzerland. Seems like Switzerland has lots of festivals.
Yeah, they would.
It's founded around famous people. Like big one right now is Martha Argerich, right?
Yeah.
and her people.
Yeah, the Aspen.
But I
recital.
think some of this stuff is. Well, I don't think his festival necessarily continued because it was mostly propelled by Edwin Fischer, who was Swiss, right? But I think this is one of the finest recordings. No, I would forget recordings. Not a great recording because it's old.
Yeah.
Finest interpretations and performances of Beethoven's C major piano concerto I have ever heard anybody play.
Wow.
And it's partially because the orchestra and the piano, he conducts for the piano.
Yeah.
When they have their runs, he does the runs in the piano.
Yeah.
The violins do it exactly the same way. It's seamless, completely integrated music making between the piano and the orchestra. It's like there's one musical mind, and it's all working. Exquisitely shaped, beautifully played. The really cool thing is, I got D minor Mozart as well. He always played his own cadenzas.
Oh,
Not Mozart,
wow.
not Beethoven. Even in
His
the Beethoven
own.
first, he plays his own. They're very good.
Yeah.
Very stylistic, very persuasive. Not some of that weird stuff like Arthur Schnabel does.
did, yeah.
In like the Mozarts.
Yeah, I
and
know.
the orchestra made snotty noises, when he played. Because Schnabel actually wrote music, but he was totally into serial. A total guy who played Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert, stuff that was famous for. Absolutely convinced people this is the greatest music in the world. His own writing is 12-tone serial music.
Yep.
And he does that strangely in those two concerti. There's one is the D minor and the C minor, right? Of Mozart.
Yeah.
And it's an English recording or something like that. And he plays in the third movement just this kind of.
Yep. I think I know which one you're talking about.
And he's going like I didn't read the stuff on the back of the record and heard it the first time. I said, "God, they left this on the recording." Because I thought maybe had a little mini stroke or something, lost it for a minute. No, that was his cadence.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the Edwin Fischer. Before I take it up, just to show him. So it's mostly recordings from the last 10 years of his life, and he's still playing. And they make some things. Apparently Fischer was not a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And he let some things happen, but holy crap. Come on, he taught to Brendel and other people like that. He was a fabulous pianist, really. Some people say when he was younger it was even more exciting, but I don't see that much diminishment here. There's a little bit of a clangy-bangy, I don't remember which one it was. It was a Bach concerto or something. A little bit. Yeah. But a little bit, I thought a little bit out of hand, a little bit too exuberant. But the Beethoven C major, I would hold that performance, that particular one, up against anybody's favorite, including some of my other ones.
Yeah.
But it's incredible. And then this other one, I don't know if I talked about this or not, if I'd received it yet. But this is a recording with Fischer as the pianist and Elizabeth Schwarzkopf. And they're doing Schubert Lieder.
Ooh.
And these were all recorded. No.
What?
I was wrong about that. This is a collaboration from 1952.
Okay.
So very near the end of Fischer's life.
Okay.
And this would have been after Walter Lega. He married Elizabeth Schwarzkopf and brought her over to England and helped her develop a outside of Germany kind of reputation. But I haven't had a chance to listen yet, but it's good stuff on there. If you want to show them. That's Edwin Fischer stuff.
Wow.
I can show you the rest of these and you can show them all. So then this just arrived.
Edwin Fischer? Schwarzkopf Fischer.
This one just arrived today. I have bought some other Alexander Brailovsky stuff.
Yeah.
But this is interesting. This is recordings from 28 to 34, which my guess were probably made in France, but I don't know, and I can't see right where that is. But look at some of the repertoire. Read them, just not all of it, but some of it. It's unusual stuff.
Ooh, Scarlatti Tausig. Schubert Leschetizky. Wow. Wagner Liszt. Yeah. Neat stuff. Was there one that you wanted me to that would catch my attention? I mean, they seem to
I
all.
only received it this morning.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to hardly open it. Then there's another one I got a day or two ago, and again, it's Holy Week, so I'm pretty busy between things.
Yeah.
But I got this. This is from the Melodia
Yes.
album, Russian Piano School.
Yes.
This is a rather famous recording, Lazar Berman
Yep.
playing, you know what they are?
The Transcendental Etudes.
Transcendental
Yep.
Etudes and the Ninth Hungarian Rhapsody.
Yep.
He played the Transcendental Etudes years ago.
Years ago.
But
Yes,
this is a historically renowned
Yes.
book.
I have this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had they did a look at the series here. Look at that. Volume 1 from the Russian Piano School. Wow, look at this roster. Volume 1, Alexander Goldenweiser. Volume 2, Heinrich Neuhaus. Neuhaus. Volume 3, Samuel Feinberg.
Yeah.
Volume 4, Maria Yudina.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah. Volume 5, Vladimir Sofronitsky. Volume 6, Vyacheslav Richter. Yeah. Volume 7, Emil Galels. Volume 8, I'm holding right now. Volume 9, Mikhail Pletnev. I have that one. Volume 10, Evgeny Kissin. I don't have that one. But yeah, I'm very familiar with this one. Here. Alexander Brailovsky. Here. Lazar Berman. Some of you might recognize the cover here. There you go. Both very good.
Those are my thrifty things.
Well, those are very nice.
New acquisitions.
Very nice.
What did you think of the pie?
Oh, the pie was delicious.
Yeah?
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's really nicely done.
Yeah.
That was Stevens Bakery in Urbana.
Wow.
More wonderful things coming out of Central Ohio.
Yeah.
Like the two of us.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, folks,
Oh, can I announce one more thing?
one more thing? Okay.
Real quick.
One more thing.
Put it on your calendars.
Uh-oh.
I finally set a date for my first piano concert in a while.
Oh,
But
yeah.
especially to celebrate since my shoulder surgery.
Ah.
So it's going to be on Saturday, the 20th of June at 5 p.m. at St. James Lutheran Church in Hilliard, Ohio.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'll put up some other information about it. But
Okay.
I called the secretary and got the date set, and they're going to start planning around it. And I'm figuring on the repertoire. I want to do J.S. Bach in transcription. So I'm going to do 3 to 5. And I just thought of, I had 3, but then I thought, Laura said, well, aren't you going to play any of yours? And I did do the
Siciliana.
Da-da-dum-ba.
Yeah, from the flute suite, yeah.
So I'm going to play J.S. Bach in transcription. And I'm looking at some different people like Rommel, the German guy, Rommel,
Oh, okay.
and Kampf, and Harold Bauer, and me, and maybe, I don't like even numbers, or maybe a fifth one by somebody. Then I'm going to play the sixth Momo Musico of Schubert.
Okay.
I love those pieces, really. And as a set, I think they're magnificent. And because of the Giesecke you played for me when I had my car trouble,
Yeah.
I pulled out the lyric pieces of Grieg, and I've been playing through a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I have done this before, where I played, selections from the
Yeah,
lyric
yeah,
pieces.
yeah.
I'm going to do the first half of the second half of the concert are going to be a selection of lyric pieces from
Okay.
Edvard Grieg from early to late. I mean,
Yeah.
they encompass his whole life. And I'm realizing as I'm playing them, they're almost all orchestral in conception. I can hear,
Yeah.
orchestral music. And then I think I'm going to finish with Astor Piazzolla.
Oh, Astor. Okay.
Got some
Yeah.
pieces I love of him, and there's actually one of his that I arranged, actually.
Okay.
Maybe if I might play that. But that's what I'm thinking. Bach, Schubert, Grieg, and Piazzolla.
Wow.
For a hopefully nice, pleasant, June summer evening.
Are you gonna post it on PSI?
Yeah, I'll keep you guys informed. I'll put stuff up, but I'm gonna get some posters designed and kind of contribute to this stuff. I'm hoping there'll be a good showing. So, and partially the concert's gonna be a benefit for the church.
Okay, cool.
So, a
Good.
little benefit for me, but I'm gonna get probably most of the funds to the church. So,
Wow.
anyway,
Looking forward to it.
thank you.
Holy moly.
I'm kind of excited because I haven't. I mean, I fell in October of '24,
Yeah.
and pretty much as a pianist, till just this fall, a year after that,
Yeah.
this past fall, I mean, I was out of commission as a pianist. I couldn't do it. I could play the organ because it just you
Yeah.
just push. It's not a tracker.
Yeah.
It's just like this, But with the piano, you needed downward energy,
Yeah.
the keys and
Yeah.
stuff, and endurance and all that to play.
Yeah.
That only started to come back, for me certainly by October last year. So I've been back at it for a while. But I got a slow start. But since the first year, I've been doing some more. And recently, I was really inspired by Gisa King's performance of the Greek stuff. He played it on his car
Yeah.
speakers when we went to pick up my car, which was getting fixed. And I thought, these are great pieces. And I
These are
often
wonderful
thought when
pieces.
I was younger, I wanted to
Yeah.
record all of Greek's piano music. I thought that would be a great thing to do.
Yeah. And it's a lot.
Quite
It's a
bit.
lot.
Yeah, but there's good stuff in there.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite recordings ever is the third sonata, isn't it? Greek for violin and piano.
Third sonata.
With
Oh yeah,
Rachmaninoff.
yeah. C minor. Yeah.
With Rachmaninoff
Yeah,
and
C minor,
Fitzchrysler,
yeah.
for example. And I'm reading through these lyric pieces, and I have an even greater appreciation now, I think, at this age and
Yeah.
experience, for Greek's compositional mastery.
Oh yeah.
Now, these pieces are all pretty much ABA stuff a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of the
Pretty
time.
much. Yeah.
Or even like rondo kind of settings,
Mhm.
But they're not. Actually, it's the forms that keep the pieces, I think, secure and concrete,
Yeah.
because the language that he develops through his lifetime,
Uh-huh.
he gets into some pretty colorful harmonic
Oh yeah.
things.
Oh,
and some
absolutely.
strange
does.
progressions. They work well. They're not clashy, but
Yeah.
probably to people's ears at the time. I think I know why Liszt liked Grieg, because
Yeah.
Grieg, in my mind, was one of those guys writing music of the future at the time.
Yeah. Very different.
Because his harmonies and his style of writing is not
Yeah.
classically traditional.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful stuff. And the emotions. I played a bunch of things yesterday. I had about an hour break between teaching, and Laura was there, and she listened to me. And she just a couple times she just said, "Wow, it was." I mean, some of the pieces are profoundly moving.
Oh yeah,
emotional.
absolutely. They
It's
are.
good stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping people don't know it. They'll get a bit of an introduction to something on the list. So that's it for me. What
Oh.
about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still working on it. I've got the let's see, the Haydn Fantasy learned. I have the Beethoven 32 variations learned. I'm still having a lot of trouble with that foray. It's just the last couple of
ballad.
pages. Oh, it's a battle.
Foray is hard.
It's one, and it's a double
Yeah.
note trill.
Uh,
Yeah, it's in like in the last 4 pages.
mm,
He does it 4 pages before the end, and then he does it again on the second page before the last. And I tell you, I mean, I've come up with the most harebrained idea for fingerings for those 2 passages, because I noticed on all the performances I've heard on YouTube, with the exception of Grant Johansson, they all turn into single note trills. They play the third and then trill on just one note, and then finish the passage. So
about trills, I was thinking just when I'm playing
Yeah.
some of the Greek things, and there's trill. I love the piece called Fantôme. phantom.
Phantoms, yeah.
You know that one? It's got three. There's also trills in the nocturne. The earlier
Nocturne,
piece.
yeah.
I was reminded recently, because I'm doing this, and I think it's been a good thing.
Yeah.
I know we got to bring this to a close, but I was just finished. I think I'll shut up anyway. I think it was a good thing to have a break from playing,
Yeah.
even that long. I mean, let's say a whole year,
Yeah.
and even until recently, I might even say 14 or 15 months,
Mm-hmm.
that I was really not there. First time in my life that I was that long away from the keyboard, seriously away. I have a fresh view and approach
outlook,
to things,
yeah.
you know, and thinking differently. So, for example, in the Phantom, I mean, when I was younger, I just thought trills just are supposed to go fast, you know, as crazy as possible, right? Right, that's what you do. But then when I was in performance practice with Mr. Belson and various people and studying, I learned that there was a school to embellishments, you know, and I think it continued well into the 19th century, and who knows how far, obviously, even in the early 20th century, about understanding the nature of ornaments and how they were played. In the 17th and 18th centuries, there were very specific rules. Bach, even, remember, goes through and writes out. He writes musically how to play the different ornaments.
Yeah.
But then I remember, I think Belson must have mentioned it more than once.
Yeah.
And some different people I've worked with or heard different times. A trill in a rondo is not going to be the same as a trill in an arietta. Because of the tempo, the mood, the emotion, the whatever effect is trying to be created.
Yeah.
So the nocturne is, in my mind, probably supposed to be like fairies or moths or night creatures. You know,
Yeah.
But you see their little wings like going like
sort of
this. Fluttering, but not honeybee speed or what are the birds called with the big beaks that eat the red sweet.
Yeah, woodpecker.
No, the
hummingbird.
Hummingbirds. Yeah. Not hummingbirds or bees kind of speed.
Yeah, but
or dragonflies.
No,
this is more like a moth. You know, sometimes at night. And so I was thinking about the trill. And then in the Phantom, when you turn the first page, it goes immediately into your first trill. It just seems vulgar to play a fast trill. You know? I don't know if that helps in any consideration.
It does.
What's going there, but a trill is not a trill is not a trill. A trill deserves to be treated uniquely and in context of the moment in which something's happening.
Yeah.
You know, we all kind of get the idea of Beethoven trills from the concerti, right?
Yeah.
And you work so hard to make them as clean and as fast and as amazing as possible. And if somebody's got like super trills, all the rest of them think that he's got more hanging somewhere than the rest. Of them. But it just doesn't have to be that way, So anyway, and we talk about, and I'm sorry, folks, but we've had these interruptions. Alexa is going nuts today, and since yesterday we had some internet connection troubles.
Yeah.
And when it's split.
I'm having trouble understanding right now.
See?
Please try a little later.
She's not connected to the internet, but then if you mention her name, she goes chattering. I apologize, but hopefully most of what you'll hear is from our microphone here.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
So.
Okay, well, folks, if you enjoyed our show today, you enjoyed our company, enjoyed our topic of conversation or the banter, please come back and join us for more. Find out what we're reading, what we've been playing, what we've been listening to. It's a whole new world out there. So.
Yeah, sure is.
Yes. Anyways, this is...
I'm Dr. Mark.
I am Elmer, and we are...
Mark and Elmer's
PSI. Piano Scene Investigations. That was his line.
Yeah. That's okay. I like it.
Bye, folks.
See you guys.